thank you for everyone for coming on this crazy day on Friday where it's too much rain and people have traveled from far also. You're still waiting for more people to join, but in the meantime we have to start because Consul General Iron Lady Aisha Ali is here. That's what's her title. So we thank you, Aisha Ali, for coming today. I also thank all our prestigious guests to join us on this fundraising by CDRS. I thank you especially also Taj Sheh for coming from Pakistan and doing this fundraising and joining us on this occasion in Long Island, in Jericho, the Cotillion. Also, I would like to thank Arshad Choudhry for doing this great photography and video for us today. I just want to start something today is who is Taj Sheh and what is CDRS? So obviously everybody has a question, and unless you know more about it, you wouldn't know what's going on. So I will start first with the video to show you what is CDRS, and then we'll talk about it.
वो बहुत बुरा वक्त था, लेकिन 2019 में 1 दिसंबर को सब कुछ फिर से बदल गया, बेहतरी के लिए। हमें फिर से अपना घर मिल गया।
Here at CDRS, we recognize the need to take care of widows and orphans, and we opened up House of Blessings to do our part. In Pakistan, so many widows and orphans are out there who need our assistance. So CDRS has opened up House of Blessings to meet that need in Pakistan, and hopefully we'll be able to expand this project.
इसमें ऐसे लोग हैं जो यतीम हैं, बेवा हैं, बच्चे हैं, वो हमारे इस प्रोजेक्ट में जो है हम उनको बाकायदा वेरीफाई करके उनके नीड्स को लेके आते हैं, जिनके लिए एजुकेशन का कोई सारा हो, खाना पीना, जिनको छत की जरूरत हो।
तो हम उनको यही एक सिखा रहे होते हैं कि वी फीलिंग्स डेवलप करें, कि एक दूसरे के साथ शेयरिंग रखें। सबका एक ही सिचुएशन है, जिस बैकग्राउंड से आए हुए, जो प्रॉब्लम्स उन लोगों ने फेस की है, हम उनको सिखाते हैं कि आपस में बैठें, अपने प्रॉब्लम्स एक दूसरे को बताएं, उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स सुनें। कभी इन बच्चों को देख के दुख भी होता है और बहुत ज़्यादा खुशी भी होती है कि अल्लाह ताला ने मुझे चुना इस काम के लिए, कि शायद मैं भी अल्लाह ताला की नज़र में स्पेशली हूँ कि मुझे अपने बहुत ज़्यादा प्यारे बंदों के लिए जो अल्लाह ताला के बहुत करीब हैं, उनको उनका ख्याल रखने के लिए अल्लाह ताला ने मुझे पसंद किया।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारे पास CDRS के वॉलंटियर्स हैं, उनके यहाँ पे हमारे पास कोऑर्डिनेटर्स हैं जो ट्वाइस अ मंथ एटलीस्ट हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स को विजिट करते हैं, वो लोकल लोग हैं।
Giving of monthly food packs to people all over Pakistan. So that's been a national effort.
Please guys, send this money here. Help these people, they need food. That's the basic thing you need. Help your people. That's your responsibility. That's your job. That's our job. I'll do what I can. God is doing whatever He can. But we can't do nothing without you. So let's put your hands together. Join ourselves. And let's do this. God bless Pakistan.
Thank you, Mo, for putting on this event. Thank you all for coming. Our Consul General for New York, Aisha, thank you so much for coming. You've always been supportive of our work in the past, and we always love to see you. And we are very happy that we are working with Pakistan. In fact, the clip that you saw where we were feeding people, that's a food truck in Islamabad Pindi area that goes to a different location every day. Sometimes it's in a poor neighborhood or day laborers, but it's funded by the Pakistan Army Fauji Foundation. And they asked me a couple years back if we would start this project with them, and they liked it so much they have renewed it every year. And during Ramadan, this past Ramadan and the one before, 500 iftars every day, plus delivery of food packs during the day. And then other than Ramadan, on normal times, it's 300 nashta every day and 300 dinner that we give out. And that's fully funded by Fauji Foundation. And Mary Petroleum, thank you. So a big hand for them, because without their support and their funding, my team and I wouldn't be able to do it. I have a great team. We have learned logistics over almost 17 years since I came during the earthquake in Pakistan with a group of Pakistani American doctors. That's how I ended up in Pakistan. For those of you who don't know me, when the Hurricane Katrina happened, and before that the tsunami in Sri Lanka, I went to those disasters. I was also here in New York on 9/11. I was a musician before 9/11, but then 9/11 changed my whole path, and my Allah had a different plan for me, but I didn't know. But down at Ground Zero, I learned that doctors and rescuers and people that are trained to go into burning and collapsed buildings, if they don't have someone to give them the food and the backup and the medicines and the supplies and their fuel and their transport and their communications and all the things that they need, then they have to spend time getting those things, and often they get worn out and tired out doing that. And then the things that they're trained to do, which is to save lives and to go into these buildings and these places that are destroyed, they aren't able to do it as well. So a guy like me that comes along and does logistics work is very helpful to them. So I learned this about myself on 9/11, and I chose to go that path rather than what I considered to be kind of a path of the music business career, which was more of a selfish pursuit for my own gratitude and my own money and things like that. So I just felt a calling to do this kind of work. So I went to different disasters around the world. I've been to Haiti, Japan, the Philippines, Syria, the Bangladesh Rohingya camps a couple times. I've been in different places around the world, but Pakistan is where I went and ended up staying and making my home and my life there. I have a wife, Fozia, a beautiful baby boy who will be a year old on Wednesday. And I'll go back just in time, inshallah, for his birthday, Mohammed Sultan. And people ask me, why did you choose Pakistan? Well, actually, Pakistan chose me because I came there for 2 weeks with a group of doctors after the earthquake. Because when I came back from Hurricane Katrina, I came in, and my son was about 16 years old at the time, my first son, Justin. We were sitting there eating a pizza, and had just come back from this disaster of Hurricane Katrina. And I turned on the television, and earthquake in Pakistan was all over the news. So I put my pizza slice down. I said to my son, I'm going to Pakistan. And he said, okay, Dad, what are you going to do? I said, I have no idea. I didn't know how I was going to get there, who I was going to go with, but I Googled the Pakistan embassy number. I called them, and the DC at the time, I think Muhammad Aslam was his name, but he put me in touch with the APNA and the Islamic Medical Association of North America. Those two groups were putting doctors together to go. So when I talked to them, they said, yes, we're a bunch of doctors, but up in the mountains, we don't know what we're going to be getting ourselves into, so we'll need logistics people. So I had told them about my previous volunteer work, and that I had just come back from Hurricane Katrina. So they took me on board. I was going to stay for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we had set up a tent hospital in Jhelum Valley in Muzaffarabad district. We had helicopters coming, going day and night, going out and getting medicines for the doctors and all their supplies. So they asked me when they were leaving, they said, we're sending another team and another team and another team for the next few months, however long is needed, but we need you here to help, keep the things going logistically. I said I'd be honored to. So then it became I was going to stay for 3 months. During that 3 months period, people started to go back. Different organizations were wrapping up their work after a few months. So friends in the Pakistan Army that I had met, like Brigadier Shariar and Brigadier Amjad Shabir, and these guys had asked me to stay. People in the village were asking me to stay. People in other organizations like Pakistan Red Crescent, they said, everybody's leaving, we need help here, and we're going to need help for many years. And so I said, I don't know how I'll do this. I don't have my own organization. I'm working as a volunteer, and even they're wrapping up. So it was a brigade major in the 10th Brigade from Sialkot, Major Zia. Yes, and thank you, Zia Saab, for your help tonight. So Major Zia said, I'll help you to get registered. So he helped me register CDRS, And that began this journey, which has led to me staying for a year. Then I said, okay, I'll stay 2 years. Then the SWAT crisis happened in 2009, and I was still there working with the AJK government on healthcare. So then when the crisis in SWAT happened, my team moved over there. We set up this mother-child health center there. So it just seemed like every year, more things happened that tied me closer to Pakistan, and I became friends and like brothers and sisters with many Pakistanis. I fell in love with the children. I found them to be very strong, and maybe perhaps the most important thing was all my life, whenever I heard about Pakistan on the media, it was always bad news. It was always, they're terrorists and there's this and that and they hate us. Well, when I went there, I found the exact opposite. And I found that our media in America is telling 2% of the truth 100% of the time about Pakistan. So yeah, we can hear all the bad news. Let's say that we went to some country and we talked about all the bad things in New York City and the New York area, all the terrible things that happen, but never said a thing about the good people like you and the good things that happen and the good things and the beautiful children. Well, then people would have an impression of New York that it's a horrible place. So this is, I think, what unfortunately Pakistan has been victimized by, this negative publicity. I don't know what the agenda is, but when I went there and saw for myself how strong and beautiful the people were, it became a very easy decision for me when I was asked to stay. So I stayed because of the love that I got from the Pakistani people and because of the needs that were there. So my team, over the years, we responded to disasters and we did logistics. We brought in doctors, we brought in people that are expertise, and we made sure they had what they needed so that they could do what they were trained to do to help others. That was what we did. And we brought in food and medicine and tents and medicines for the doctors and the supplies they needed, and took care of their tents and their blankets and their transportation and their communications and their security, whatever they needed. Then along towards 2015, after we worked with Imran Khan Foundation in Banu for the army operation there, which saw 1 million people escape the fighting in North Waziristan, after that, thankfully for Pakistan, there wasn't floods and earthquakes and these kinds of natural disasters from 2015 on to last year, or the year when COVID hit.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. I promise you it'll be only a few words. Because when you come to speak after an inspirational speaker like Todd Shea, there's not much that you can say. But just want to highlight a couple of themes. And I think you said, you raised some very important points, and about the image of the country and how people in the US need to know more about Pakistan. In my diplomatic career, and I've been in the Foreign Service 22, 23 years now, and the biggest obstacle that we have faced as a country is our image. There is this image problem that we need to fix and that we need to correct. And I totally agree with Todd when he says that whoever goes to Pakistan falls in love with that country. It's our hospitality, our warmth, the range, the diversity that we offer, the kind of people that we are. But it is the Mazedar Khana is out of this world. I have never met anyone. I've sent hundreds and thousands of people to Pakistan for different purposes, my colleagues, for tourism, for cultural events. I have never met anyone who's gone to Pakistan and not liked it. So I totally agree with you as a diplomat. I thought I should touch upon that. The reason I'm here tonight is because I really wanted to learn about CDRS. And I also wanted to thank you, Todd, for everything that you do in Pakistan. And it's obviously the charitable work that you do, the various causes for which you work in Pakistan that have made you a household name in Pakistan, and you do a very important service. Thank you so much for everything that you do. For us as a mission, as a diplomatic mission, and as officers of the Foreign Service, it was something that many of us had not come across. How to connect with the diaspora, with the organizations that were already working on ground, and since then, we have come a long way. Pakistani Americans, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who is in the room. Every Pakistani American that I meet, and I meet hundreds and hundreds of people here, is engaged in doing something like that for Pakistan. I have not met anyone who is not contributing to a cause of their choice in Pakistan. And Apna has been in the vanguard, as I said. And there are several others. That do so much for Pakistan. And this is also the reason why Pakistan is, I think you mentioned it, one of the top nations when it comes to giving back, to charity, to philanthropy. So I'm very proud of everyone who does that for Pakistan. Continue doing the good work that you do for the causes that are close to your heart, that make sense to you, and in places and villages and towns where you come from or with which you have an affiliation. So I've been to several of these fundraisers, and I'm just amazed at the spirit. So many hundreds and thousands of miles away from Pakistan, but still, these causes, many of these are so close to your heart, and you give back so much, and you contribute so much. And on behalf of everyone in Pakistan and the government of Pakistan, I'm extremely grateful to you. Muhammad Khan Sahab, Zia Sahab, thank you so much. And it's not only in Pakistan. The Pakistani Americans in the US are also giving back to their adopted homeland in a big way. So we need to do a good job of that. Thank you so much for all the work that you do, Choudhry. Thank you, Muhammad Sahab, Zia Sahab. Thank you to everyone who's here.
You don't have to pay right away. You can pay in like installment within a year. But it's everything help. I mean, you have to understand one thing, is fundraising is not an easy thing. I can tell you right now, because I know I'm doing it. I went and I spent weeks with Todd to see with my own eyes, so I can come to you and tell you that it is the real thing, because I don't want to put my name on a charity where there is something wrong. And Todd charity is absolutely 100% real.
So your range is between, a little over 5,000 up to about 12,500 if you want the larger unit that's 10,000 gallons a day plus the solar system that goes with it in some areas. Not every area needs the solar powered system, but many of these areas don't have electricity. So those are a little bit more pricey. We also have the hand pumps that are $450 for hand pumps. Then there's also the boring that you can do with a simple charcoal sand filter and UV radiation, which is basically sunlight, and some ways of filtering water where the contamination is not at a level where you need RO.
Everything goes from here, it goes to charity. I'm not taking any money as usual, and I never do, and I refuse to do. So this is all charity work. As I said, charity is a very hard thing to do. I give my time, my sleep, my everything, because I think, end of the day, this is temporary world. We all have to go over there. So the first one is, as you can see right here, it's absolutely a great art. We're going to start this for $500. It's not too much, but it's going to make your house look beautiful. All money goes to the charity. You do have to think about it. It's here in the dinner, before the dinner, after the dinner, if you want it, it's here. I also want to start this at $1,000. And we're starting this at $500, anyone. That's all handwritten work done by her. So this is for any young girl. Anybody older can have it from this. We're going to actually start doing the dinner now and start the music as well with our very, very great artist here, Junaid Bhai.
तुझको सांझ सवेरे जग घूमया थारे जैसा ना कोई जग घूमया थारे जैसा ना कोई ना वो हंसना तो मर गई ना वो खुशबू तो मर गई ना वो रंग दिया ना देखी ना वो प्यारी सी ना गई जैसी तू है वैसी रहना जग घूमया थारे जैसा ना कोई 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 अखियां उड़ीक दियां दिल बजा मारदा अखियां उड़ीक दियां दिल बजा मारदा आजा परदेसिया वास्ता ही प्यार दा आजा तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां सजना तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां सोहणिया तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां रामा तक तक थक गईया मैं रामा तक तक थक गईया मैं कलियां बह अक गईया मैं कलियां बह अक गईया मैं एक एक पल गिन गिन के गुजारदा एक पल गिन गिन के गुजारदा आजा परदेसिया वास्ता ही प्यार दा आजा तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां सजना तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां ओ जानियां तैनू अखियां उड़ीक दियां Everybody knows it, so let's sing it together.
Esses a mim, ó Asma, in que se va, jana kaha pardira hai, ye roshani chalta rahe, ye karwa, dil dil Pakistan ka, Pakistan dil dil Pakistan, jaan jaan Pakistan dil dil Pakistan, jaan jaan Pakistan dil dil Pakistan, jaan jaan Pakistan. As we wake up to the morning light, a memory winds its way from the hallway to my mind. It takes me away back to the good old days when our little house was filled up with the sound of little feet upon the floor, down the hall and opening up our door, crawling across the sheets, snuggling up to you and me, little angels with those little feet, using our bed for a trampoline. Now they're all grown up and moved away. Oh, how I miss those little feet of yesterday. Oh,
अल्लाह ताला देता तो सबको है लेकिन लेता सबसे नहीं है। बहुत ही खुशकिस्मत लोग होते हैं जिनको अल्लाह ताला देने की तौफीक देता है। Years ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, जब हम सब लोग अपना वतन छोड़ के यहाँ पे आए थे तो हमारे पास इतना मालूम अता नहीं था। There are certain exceptions. जो भी हमें इस कंट्री ने दिया है हमें उसमें से थोड़ा सा हिस्सा अल्लाह ताला के रास्ते में भी देना चाहिए।
I think I'm very happy to be part of this organization. I have attended a couple of times in the past. I have heard talk a couple of years ago also. So I am very, very happy that some of my friends who committed and those who have not committed think about it, because this is a good cause. Especially coming back from Pakistan, there is not a family who don't have some poor relative living in a rural part of the world, they can use the help. And we are very, very proud that some of you involved for many years. And Mohammed Khan, I know him for a number of years. He's involved with more than one charity. My wife already pointed out to me.
Hi, this is Mohammed Khan. I'm the CDRS president for USA and Europe. We have CDRS fundraising in New York, Long Island, Jericho, and this is the fundraising for CDRS. We have Todd Shea, who's the CEO and founder of CDRS. I would like to ask Todd, please tell us more about it, how he started, what he's going to do, and what would be the future of CDRS.
We're very happy to be here in Long Island and lovely facility. We have been working, my team and I at CDRS, for almost 17 years, since Zalzala 2005, when we came with Imana and Apna doctors and Pakistani Americans who were coming over from America to help. And I went as a logistics officer. That same year, I had been at Hurricane Katrina and the tsunami in Sri Lanka. So I came to Pakistan with that group of doctors and started a small hospital in Jhelum Valley. And I fell in love with the country, I fell in love with the people, and I ended up, instead of staying for just 2 weeks, I stayed for a few months, and then it registered in Pakistan, and then also registered in America later.
Thank you, A1 Video, for doing this nice video and photography for us.
आज हम हिक्सविल में सब जमा हुए हैं CDRS के लिए और पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी यहाँ पर एक बहुत अच्छे इवेंट का इन्होंने एहतमाम किया है ताकि CDRS की जो भी फिलैंथ्रोपिक एक्टिविटीज़ हैं पाकिस्तान में इनको सपोर्ट किया जाए. टॉड शे इज़ हियर एंड मोहम्मद खान is also here. So I'm delighted to take part in this event, which I hope will raise a lot of awareness about CDRS and its work in Pakistan.
अभी मैं इस टाइम पे न्यूयॉर्क में हूँ, बहुत ही अच्छे कॉज के लिए. CDRS, जिस तरह के आप मेरे पीछे देख सकते हैं, इट्स अ वेरी वेरी नोबल कॉज. दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स इन पाकिस्तान. जिस तरह के ऑर्फनेज है इनका, एनिमल शेल्टर के काम करते हैं दूर दराज इलाकों में पाकिस्तान में, जिस तरह थल डेजर्ट जहाँ पे आम हुकूमत भी नहीं पहुँच सकती, वहाँ पे जाके वाटर प्रोजेक्ट्स कर रहे हैं, वाटर फिल्ट्रेशन प्लांट्स लगा रहे हैं. मैं बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ अरशद चौधरी साहब का मुझे यहाँ पे लाने के लिए, फॉर आपका A1 TV चैनल.